Canadians Auto, GamerNode.com. Today I'm taking a look at Unearth. This is a set collection game where players will have a few dice that they use to roll and try to control various cards that come out representing ruins that the players are unearthing in order to take those into their possession by having the highest rolled die on each card. They'll also be using their lower rolls to collect stones and build monuments in their own little tableau, earning points and special abilities that way too. It's really interesting, it's light, it's quick, and it's fun, and let's take a look at it on the table. Okay, so Unearth is primarily a set collection game, and the way that players will be acquiring these cards and other things is by using their dice, and each player has a set of 5 dice, 1d4, 3d6, and 1d8. Now, each of these cards will be available, and they become draftable once the total sum of the numbers on the dice has exceeded the number on the card. So in this case, if 8 was there and green put their 3 there, that would be more than 9, and this card would go to the player whose die shows the highest value. So green would place there, but yellow would get the card. Now, why would green ever place there? Well, it's because in this sweet little bag, it's a canvas bag too, very nice, there are these stones. There are different colored stones, and each of these cards holds a number of these stones as shown on the bottom corner. And whenever a card comes out, these stones will they will go on there once players place the cards out in the tableau here. So, players will be rewarded for using their low dice as well as their high dice. While high dice win the card, the low dice that show a 1, 2, or a 3 earn the player a stone for that die. And you'll be trying to get stones as well as the cards, because building out, I'm just going to use them from off of these other cards, building out circles of stones will earn the players the right to, once they've completed a ring of 6, to claim one of the wonders at the top here. Now, each of the wonders has a different requirement. I don't know if it's visible. They each have their own little hex tile, which I'll slide off here just so I can show you what's going on. And there are stacks on the lesser wonders and the greater wonders, and I'll tell you why. So, for example, this Tomb of the Last Age requires a black, a red, a blue, a yellow. We have that here, and then 2 of any color. So that would be available for this player. And it also gives this player a point for each color of ruin they have, and there are 5 colors of ruins, so you can earn more points at game end by placing this in your ring of stones. Now, maybe they wanted to achieve this one here, so this is available because we have black, red, blue, and yellow, and then 2 of any type. It's the same requirements as that one. The Fountain of Reflection lets the player score 2 points for each stone of the type they have the least of, or the fewest of. So in this case, they would score 2 points for blue, but they will gain more stones as the game goes on, so you can prepare for that. And then maybe this player would want to get stones evenly so that their lowest number is still relatively high. Other cards might require 3 pairs of stones, or 4 yellow and 2 of any color. And there are a number of them. There are all of these different ones that are available in the game. But you play with exactly the number of players plus 2, and then the greater and lesser wonders. And the greater and lesser wonders are all the same. So the lesser wonders are any 6 stones, and then you take the top of this stack, and they vary in point value from 2 to 4. So we have a 3, a 3, a 3, a 2, and this is a 4, come on, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. So that's what the lesser wonders are. The greater wonders require 6 matching stones, and they score between 6 and 8 points, and there are only a few of them. So players will say we took this one. Well, we don't need to take it, we just take this. We place it in our little stone area, and then later on we'll build off of this and maybe make a new wonder with this circle here. And now, what did we make? We have 2 reds, 2 yellows, and 2 blacks. So in this case, we could take this one that required 3 pairs of stones. And you'd build out in that way and earn the bonuses of those different wonders by using dice that show low values. Now, the fun thing about that is that you have this D4 that almost guarantees that you're going to be able to pick up a stone, because remember, you get a stone for every die value that is 1, 2, or 3. And so it's a very high probability. But you also have your high dice that give you the opportunity to be the majority controller of a card and take that card into your possession, because what you're trying to do is, you can look on this scoring chart, you're trying to get multiple of the same color card. So if I get these orange cards, I want 5 of them, because that'll get me 30 points. 1 card only scores me 2 points. So it scales very sharply as you gain more. And it's not always easy to collect these, because as you take them, you place them face up in front of you, and other players will be watching and really not want you to get cards that you already have numerous matching that same color. What you do get at the beginning of the game is one face down in front of you that's a secret. So I know that I have this orange card, so maybe I'll go for more of those right off the bat. And at the beginning of every game, you don't play with all the cards. You reduce that by 5 or by 10 in a 2-player game, so that the game only lasts as long as there are cards. These will all come out, and then when the very last card is bought, so you'll end up with 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, the game will end. But first, before that happens, you have these very special end-of-age cards, and they have various different effects, like this one that costs you points to have, or this one that is worth a point value on its own, or just an effect that goes into play when this card is revealed, like any of these. And one of them goes at the bottom of the deck and will be revealed when you're through all of the ruin cards. Now, additionally, if you are not the player to win a card, like say we were back here again, and yellow took the card, now blue and green would each get, for each die that they have, not for each number, but for each die, a Delver card. These Delver cards come into play on every turn, because before you roll your dice, well, let's just explain how that works. When you roll your dice, you choose one, you'll choose the die size and the card that you want to play it on. So I'll say, I'm rolling this D6, and I want to roll it here. And I'll do that, and then it goes there. But before you roll your dice, you can play any number of these Delver cards to give the next die a bonus, or to let you choose where to place it after you roll, or to change the die value on an existing die that's already on a card, or any number of things. You can even, if I were blue here, and I was about to try to get this one, and they already have a 5, well, maybe I want to say, you know what, your 5 is actually a 3, so goodbye. And then I roll my D8 there, and I failed. But say I rolled something that actually got that card. Now I just was able to pull that card out from under them. And that's what's going to happen a lot in this game, is players are going to try to snake these cards out from under one another. And, you know, some players may aim for more of the wonders, and some players may aim for more of the set collection on the ruins. So there are a number of different things to do here, and the fact that you're rolling dice doesn't limit you to only wanting to roll high numbers. You are rewarded whether you're rolling high or low. And then at the end of the game, you'll score based on those sets that I said before, and you'll also score for each set of 5 different colored ruins, and if you manage to get 3 wonders, you'll get 5 points for that as well. And then the player with the most points at the end of the game will be the winner. And that's really it. That's Unearth. And that's a beautiful bag. I love it. Alright, so that's Unearth, and I really like this game. It's kind of unique. I don't think that I've played a game that feels just like this. And what I really like is that when you're using these dice, and you're using 3 different types of dice, there's 1d4, 3d6s, and 1d8, and you're trying to get high numbers to win the cards, but then you're trying to get low numbers as well to get those stones into your little tableau so you can build monuments. So either end of the spectrum there, you're gaining something. You're trying to win something at the high end, and you're claiming those stones at the low end. And then also the fact that you put your dice out onto these cards, and then maybe another player wins with a higher roll, you would think that that's like a really chancy, lucky type thing. But the fact that you can decide, oh, I want to jump on there and throw some dice there so that I can pick up some Delver cards to help me in the future, that's really cool. I like the way that you can kind of play off of other players and strategize using the different resources you have at hand, your different dice, to do different things. There's also a lot of sort of snaking these cards out from one another. So you'll see in a higher player count game, you'll see a lot of stuff going on. You'll have some choices to throw your die onto a card, maybe play a couple delve cards, boost those die rolls, and then throw that die onto a card and grab it when someone else, it might have been a 17 value card. So they've been working on getting this die value up, and then you go in, you have your D8 and maybe a +2 or something, you throw it on there, and bam, you've rolled 1 die, but you've taken that card. But those people still get something for it. Or like if you know someone's going to win, you just drop a die on there, pick up a delve card, it'll help you in the future. And I also really like the D4. The fact that you gain a stone on a 1, 2, or 3, you have that D4 always kind of in your back pocket to just be able to grab a stone and fill in your little rings to build monuments. Because the monuments are actually kind of my favorite part of the game. The fact that you're trying to get very specific colors to build this ring of stones to produce the monument that you have your eye on. But everyone else is kind of racing for those too. There is the opportunity, I don't want to say opportunity actually, there is the chance that you'll get your dice kind of stuck at certain times and want to get those specific dice back, particularly your D8 and your D4. Those are the ones that are kind of really strong in different ways. So a lot of the time you're kind of just hoping someone else will finish off a card even if you're not going to win it, even if you don't care. But a lot of times you're watching those other players because since it's set collection, you can see which colors they have a lot of, and the point values go up very quickly. So you're going to try to really stop people from gaining all those purple cards or all those white cards or whatever. There's a lot going on in this game, and I think that's really cool. In a 2-player game, there's a lot less going on. You only have 4 of the ruin cards, which is good, but a lot of times players will kind of like go off in their own way, and like you might end up kind of dropping a lot of dice onto 2 cards maybe, and just kind of slowly edging up to the high values that are on those cards. But, there's still the opportunity where someone's working on a card and you just jump in and take it from them. And it's kind of like a little bit of a seesaw battle in that way. So, 2-player game, not quite as lively, but still pretty good. So, that's Unearth. I dig the game. I love the artwork. I think that's the first thing that anyone notices about this game. Really beautiful sort of isometric computer rendered art on all these cards. They're large tarot sized cards. Really nice. The Delver cards I mentioned before, I feel like there could be more of them, more different abilities that you can use, because I found I would have a hand that might have a bunch of the same card, and I'd be like, what? I don't know what to use these for in this particular situation. So there's that. But that last card, the End of Age card that comes out, is really interesting. The way that can affect the end of the game or be a sudden influx of points that you can get. And I really like the one that gives you negative points. It's like you're trying to not be the person to roll on that card, and you have to. On each turn, you have to roll a die. So if there's just one card left, you're kind of like, okay, good. And then like you're happy that the next player is going to be the one to take that card. But anyway, so that's Unearth from Brotherwise Games, designed by Jason Harner and Matthew Ransom. Very solid game. I want to say that for a higher player count game, 3 and 4 player, that it's a 4. And a 2 player, I think it would be a 3 for me. But so it's somewhere in there, 3, 4, probably leaning toward the 4 end. It's a commendable game. So yeah, exactly. That's Unearth. Beautiful little game. Love the art. Brotherwise Games. Go check it out. Thanks for watching GamerNode, and as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for notifications for when we upload new videos. Follow us on our new Instagram at GamerNode, Twitter, and like us on Facebook, and check out the site for everything new. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time. Have fun out there.